I've just cast on for my Christmas sweater this year and it sent me down a bit of a rabbit hole looking at all the beautiful winter patterns out there. And since we are at that magical point where Christmas is close but not quite here yet, I thought we could look at sweaters that feel festive and cozy but is still completely wearable all winter long. Think soft cables, a bit of color work, maybe some lace, and a few pieces that just feel like a quiet December evening. So get comfy, grab your knitting, and let's dive in. Hi guys, and welcome back. My name is Luisa, but everybody calls me Lu. I have 15 patterns to share today, with a few accessories at the end, and they all fit this idea of being festive but timeless. These are pieces you can knit now, enjoy for the holidays, and still love in February when the lights are gone but the snow is still falling. I've divided the patterns into three categories, and those are colorwork, lace, and cables, with a couple of shawls at the end to wrap it all up. So let's jump right in with the first sweater pattern, which is the Festive sweater. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, so let's go with Festive sweater by Lenit. This is such a clever color work but simple at the same time. This pattern was released recently and I love how it feels very elegant but it's still minimal enough to wear every day. It's a perfect early winter cast on if you want something bright but not too loud. I really want to cast this on soon, pretty soon actually. I would love to work on this in the winter and I think this is going to be one of the projects I work on during the next season, but we'll see. This pattern has a raglan construction with a small graphic detail worked from the top down using three colors, but you only work with two at a time, giving you short floats on the wrong side. So I think this would be a lovely option for someone with minimal colorwork experience like me. The recommended yarn is one strand of wool plus one strand of mohair, giving this sweater a DK weight gauge. I particularly love the soft contrast between the two shades of red shown in one of the pattern samples with a light beige in the background, and I think I would want to keep the same color palette if I ended up casting this on. This gives this sweater a lovely Christmassy vibe, but is still very much wearable all winter long. I already have a yarn in mind, a new to me yarn in mind, which is Isager, I never know how to pronounce that, Jensen yarn in two different colorways that I forgot to take a photo of when I saw them at the yarn shop, so now I'll have to hunt them down somehow. But this is my idea and we'll see if I'll get to cast it on. But this is a lovely option for a Christmassy wearable sweater. And next up is a pattern released just last month and it's called Afric by Rebecca Clow or the Creabea. This sweater has those lovely stripes that feel classic, and if you've been here a while, you know I love a good stripe. It's a bit like your favorite winter pajamas turned into a sweater in the best possible way, cozy and comfy, but still pretty elegant. I think stripes always feel festive in a gentle way, and I love a good stripy pattern. I feel like this one could work in so many color combinations. It has a top-down construction with bands of color work across the body and sleeves, knitted at a worsted weight gauge. It uses one main color and two or three contrast colors, so a lot of opportunity for beautiful and fun color combinations. Short rows are worked at the back and the color work is easy to memorize according to the designer. I love the gray and orange sample, but this pattern really sold me when I saw the off-white and green one. I've seen people using different shades of green and dark gray for the contrast colors, which I really like. There's a knitter who used a beige as the main color and burgundy and white for the contrast colors, and it looks absolutely gorgeous. Then we have the Mountain Mist by Tinker Knits. The color work on this one is so soft and delicate. It has a modern look but very subtle and classic at the same time. I love it. It features a circular yoke worked from the top down at a worsted weight gauge. The sizing range goes from toddler to men's 4XL, which is a lovely bonus. You can knit this sweater for the entire family. From the pattern photos, it looks like you just work with 2 colors at a time, and the fade in the pattern sample is really pretty. There are so many possibilities in terms of colors to play around with this sweater. Doing a fade from a beige at the top, going to a dark burgundy at the bottom would be so gorgeous and very Christmassy. I love this idea. And the next pattern is one I recently talked about in my fall knitting plans video, but it fits today's roundup theme so well that I had to include it here as well. And this is the Jewel Sweater by Eleanor Mortensen. This sweater features a circular yoke with a tree-like motif that is absolutely stunning. It uses 1 main color and 2 contrast colors. From the photos, it looks like there's a fair amount of rows working with 3 colors, three colors at the same time, but I would say most of the time it's only 2 colors per row, which makes things a little bit easier. This pattern is knitted from the top down at a fingering weight gauge. I really like the dark blue leaves, I don't know, going a bit out of the usual green we see when it's representing trees, but there are so many projects on Ravelry, so many beautiful projects on Ravelry to serve as inspiration. And another pattern that really caught my eye is another recent release, and this is the Wild Grass by Jessica McDonald. This pattern is knitted in the round from the top down. Short rows are worked under the colorwork section to help with the fit, and it is knitted at a DK weight gauge. The colorwork features a really nice motif that looks easy and gorgeous at the same time, and the sample in a coppery color and white gives this sweater a nice autumnal feel, but I think this works for the colder months as well. Especially when using a dark green as the main color or even a dark beige, any color really I would say, this sweater would look so pretty, and this is inspiring me to knit up a colorwork sweater. We'll see. There are 2 more colorwork sweaters that I am loving at the moment, and the first one is the Care sweater, another pattern by Rebecca Clow. And this one has an elegant winter energy, I would say. So perfect for the end of the year. It is a drop shoulder construction worked from the top down, colorwork band across the chest and upper arms, and as usual for Rebecca Clow's patterns, it can be knit in DK, sport, or fingering weight held double, or even fingering weight plus 1 strand of mohair. You can need a wider colorwork band or go for a narrow one. I personally prefer the wider one, but both look really lovely. What I really like about this pattern is that you first cast on, knit around 1/3 of the sweater in relaxing stockinette, just 1 color, really easy and relaxing, and then introduce this intricate colorwork section to spice things up a bit. But when it becomes too much, the colorwork is soon over and we come back to a relaxing stockinette project in just 1 color to finish it up. I think the sweater would also look really nice bringing the colorwork section further down the length, right next to the cuffs here, on the sleeves and the body hem, assuming that the sleeves are straight so it doesn't mess with the stitch counts on the colorwork design. And oh, I really like this idea. And the last colorwork sweater I have today is this is going to be a tricky one to pronounce. Hardinger? No, Hardinger? I don't know. By Rachel Ilsley. This might be one of my favorites in this lineup, and it is so wintry. I love the geometric color work. It looks almost like frosted windows or traditional embroidery. It's festive in a very timeless way, I would say, Scandinavian way, and I think it's one of those knits that will always feel like winter, which is perfect for this time of year. It is worked top down with a circular yoke, with this gorgeous colorwork motif around the majority of the yoke and the upper body and sleeves. There's a bit of short row shaping to improve the fit at the neck, and there's also a little colorwork accent on the cuffs to make this pattern even more special. This sweater is worked at a fingering weight gauge, and I've seen some people using more than one contrast color to add an extra detail to the piece, but I personally fell in love with the off-white sample in the pattern photos. Now enough of color work and let's talk about lace. The first sweater I'll show was released in 2019, but somehow I only came across it yesterday, and this is the Cathedral Pullover by Claudia Quintanilla. The gorgeous colorwork motif on the yoke is inspired by the spires seen on Gothic cathedrals, and it's the kind of sweater that looks dressy but it still feels really comfy, and it is knit bottom up with a circular yoke at a worsted weight gauge. Twisted rib details at the hem, collar, and cuffs are also an added bonus for those of us who love a good twisted rib. The lace motif looks so feminine and delicate, and I personally picture this in an off-white color or some light color. I think it would look so good for this time of year, and it would also look so good in family Christmas photos. Oh, I think it would. Next up is the Zoria. Let's go with Zoria by Marcena Kolasek. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing it wrong. This design features an oversized fit with a deep and narrow v-neck, slightly cropped length, and puffy sleeves. It is worked from the top down with two botanical panels, according to the designer, on both sleeves of the body, mixed with twisted rib for an added romantic element and some bubbles, which is something I've never done, so this is exciting. This piece is worked at a Aran weight gauge, and the pattern offers instructions for both a pullover and a open front cardigan, and tips for modifying the length and the neckline depth, which is a huge bonus. The suggested yarn is knitting for olive heavy merino, and in my opinion this would look so good paired with a dress with the cropped length and the v-neck, maybe some ties, and a cute pair of ankle boots. Oh, it will look so good. I already have the entire picture in my mind. Now, the next one is a sweater that every single year I say I'm going to make, but it never happens. I have no idea why, because it is absolutely stunning, but until the day finally comes, I'll just keep on dreaming of this sweater. The Poetry Pullover by Sarah Nordland is knitted from the top down, starting at the neckband. This is the mohair version of this sweater with a circular yoke, but she also has a dropped shoulder version that she released recently, and another one featuring this lace design only on the body with a raglan construction. There's an entire collection featuring this lace design. She has socks, tee, tank, shawl. I think there's even a scarf and maybe even more pants, now I don't remember. But I really love this one with the circular yoke. It is written for a DK weight yarn or a combo of fingering plus one strand of mohair. This is certainly one of my dream sweaters, and it would look very elegant and chic for Christmas, but also a lovely addition to the wardrobe all winter long. So now let's add some cables to the mix. with the Wishbone Sweater by Veronica Lindbergh or Kurtova Kika. This is knit from the top down in an all-over cable motif with dropped shoulders. This sweater comes with a video tutorial on YouTube, which is really nice to help guide us through this journey. It features a high collar, but I think it would be pretty easy to fold it to the inside and have a cross between a crew neck and a mock neck, maybe. Something like that. The sizing range is not great, yes, but her most recent patterns have a much more extensive sizing range, so I would say there's a chance of her going back to add more sizes to her older designs, so we would have to keep an eye out for that. This design mixes cables and twisted stitches, and it looks absolutely stunning and very fancy and chic. And I would absolutely love to add this to my wardrobe. Next up is the Faina sweater by Valentina Bogdanova. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong. This is another recent release featuring cables and twisted stitches, knit from the top down at a DK weight gauge. When I first looked at the photos, I thought there were some cables, but reading the pattern page on Ravelry, it only mentions lace, so maybe this look is achieved by working increases and decreases. I don't know. It looks so pretty and sophisticated though. This design is such a good example of how texture alone can make something feel very wintry without any color work. I love the ribbed detail at the neckband, cuffs and hem. It matches the lace pattern really nicely, and I would love to work on this project someday. But that's about it for sweaters. So now I have 3 quick neck accessories to share with you today that I really love. And the first one is the Solange scarf by Anne Wenzel. This is a simple and understated pattern, perfect if you want to pair with all your winter needs, your brand new sweaters. It's one of those accessories you wear every day. It's light but warm, elegant but not too precious, so perfect for the entire winter season, and it comes in 3 sizes. It features an increase and decrease detail on the tips, worked back and forth, and the recommended yarn is lace weight plus 1 strand of DK. And I think this is going straight to my winter plans. This lineup is certainly giving me tons of inspiration. And the next shawl is the Lune by Natasha Hornby. I knitted this for my mom, if I can manage to find, yeah. I knitted this for my mom last Christmas in white, burgundy and a light beige. This is what I have. I absolutely loved working on this pattern last year, and the construction is also pretty interesting, where you first work on the upper part of the shawl, knitting it sideways or horizontally, and then you pick up stitches on the lower edge to knit this beautiful mosaic panel. It has a shallow and elongated triangular shape, worked at a fingering weight gauge, and the pattern also has some tassels as an added detail, but I skipped that when working on my mom's version. She isn't really into tassels, but I really loved it, and she really loves wearing this when it's cold outside. And finally, I wanted to share with you the Poet Cowl by Sarah Nordland. This is a cozy, textured, quick knit, a perfect last-minute knit or a treat for yourself once the big projects are done and you already have your Christmas sweater ready to wear. This has the same flowing pattern from her Poet and Poetry designs that I mentioned earlier in the video, and this lace texture would look so lovely layered over dresses or sweaters. It is knitted flat on the bias, beginning at one corner of the back neck and increasing to full width with a small seam at the back. This pattern is written for 1 strand of fingering plus 1 strand of silk mohair, and it comes in only one size. And those are all the patterns I had to share with you today. I hope this gave you a little spark of inspiration for your winter knitting. Maybe something a bit festive, a bit sparkly, but mostly just cozy and wearable through the colder months, while still keeping that gorgeous hand-knit Christmas sweater feel. If you decide to cast one on, let me know in the comments which one caught your eye. I would love to know what's inspiring your winter knitting right now. And thank you so much for spending this time with me today. I hope your knitting brain is feeling very inspired for the next few months. Mine certainly is. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and give this video a like so you don't miss out on where my needles will take me in the colder months. I'll see you soon with another video, and until then, happy knitting. Bye!